What is up with all these challenges? Gen Z, I'm talking to you. What is going on? You're gonna hurt yourself. What is going on, everybody? Presidente back again with another video. What is going on? I had to have the AC running. And Texas weather, cold one day and hot the next. One of these days I'm making a video about the weather. This is nuts. Anyway, welcome back. Today we are talking about these challenges that I'm seeing more than ever, and it used to be just silly stuff, and now this is really starting to get out of hand. And for some reason, they're using some of these challenges to call out Gen X. What? Why? You just want to leave us alone. Let us sleep. Don't wake up the giant, man. But we're going to talk a little bit about it, and we're going to have some clarifications too. And because most people don't know how the generations are split up, I'm going to do a little tutorial for you. By the way, this video is brought to you today by nothing. Oh yeah, don't forget the memes at the end. Please like and subscribe. We're edging towards that 20K. Let's get it, man. Come on. If y'all watching this and you liked it, please hit the subscribe. So after this tutorial, I'm gonna tell you a few stories that just go hand in hand. I might mix it in with it. I don't know. This is on the fly.
All right, folks. So first of all, in case y'all didn't know, these are the current generations that, well, most of the noise is about. The greatest generation, sadly, is dying off. We have the baby boomers now, and Gen X, my generation. You have the millennials, and you have Gen Z, and then whoever back here. Don't care for this video anyway. So, baby boomers, 20 years. They give them 20 years, from 44 to 64. How nice is that? Gen X, 65 to 79. It was 14 years. Cut off 6. Same over here with millennials. I guess they couldn't handle more than 14 years of us. Couldn't handle more than 14 years, so, you know. But I've seen other places about 15 years for both. And then, of course, you have Gen Z. Well, look at this. We went back up to 20 years. Man, ain't they privileged? It goes right along with that entitlement there. give you 20 years. All right, so baby boomer. Now, the baby boomers, they're just worried that they're not going to be enough of everybody else to cover their Social Security until they die. So, there for another time, another topic. Gen X. I was born in 1967, so I'm in those first 5 years. If you were in the first 5 years of Gen X, you were probably the toughest. And then after that, I mean, all the Gen X is tough. But it's like the first 5 years were I think that's when they were defining, and I think that's when they decided to say, no, we just need 15 years of these guys, or 14 years of these guys. But yeah, it's different. So millennials from 1980 to 1994, and there's a misconception about millennials. I'm going to touch on that a moment, and then Gen Z. To start, I used to think that my daughters were millennials, but they're not. They're Gen Z. They fall in and listen. So my kids are Gen Z, and I can see that, if they, but my kids, they've grown up with me around, and they know what's going on with Gen X, and except my youngest. He probably should have been Gen X.
Okay, so let me talk about the millennials real quick. I know a lot has been said about that, but I'm just gonna clear a misconception. Okay, people think that Tide Pods, the whole eating of Tide Pods, was millennials. Nope, it was not. I know some of you guys are going, what, are you defending millennials? Hear me out. I mean, because you got to keep it truth. You got to keep it real, right? Keep it real. The truth, because there's no class if you don't have the truth. There's no style in not telling the truth. So let's tell the truth about it. The Tide Pods was the coming of age of Gen Z. That is correct. Gen Z were the ones that did the Tide Pods. Yeah, so now you know. So what did the Millennials do? Well, you kind of remember back, they were doing the flash mobs. I think it kind of covered several generations, but they were very involved in the flash mobs. They also were doing the planking. Y'all remember the planking? Yeah. So millennials were doing the plank. They brought that on. So now, but if you think about it, right? Think about it. Flash mob, which is what? Going in the mall and start dancing or singing or doing something silly all together. All right, whatever. Planking. Well, unless you're gonna get tripped or stepped on, really not that harmful, not that dangerous to do, right? Unless you're on the tracks, then that's just Darwin taking care of the rest of us. But that's really, I mean, there's some other stuff in there, but those are the two that stand out that I remember without going to search for it. But Tide Pods were Gen Z. That's right. And that's bringing me to what I'm going to talk about today, which is not Tide Pods. It's these challenges. I've seen this challenge that is just very, very dangerous.
So you see this, come on, this is totally uncalled for. You do not want to challenge anybody to drink an Everclear. What is wrong with you? That's a death wish. I tell you what, I'd rather eat Tide Pod than drink Everclear like that. Oh man.
It's dangerous, and a couple of okay. So I'll show you here in a moment. It's the Everclear. They're challenging to drink Everclear, to take a shot of Everclear, down a bottle of MD 2020 of Mad Dog. Are you serious? And then I saw somewhere where this was set out as a challenge to Gen X. No. Do not go there with that. You see, we actually drank that without being challenged. That's kind of what we did. Okay? Our main challenge was to survive because, believe me, there's a lot less. If you check out the population, though, I don't have that to show you right now, but if you check out the population, the amount of people that are in Gen X, they're actually quite a small group of the population because we really weeded out the weak ones. You know, Everclear did that to some extent, and so did these other behaviors that you would call now, you would call those risky behaviors. Back then, they weren't risky behaviors. I mean, we grew up tough and not offended, and the ones that showed any weakness in that direction were shoved into lockers and were smeared in the gym room with the with dodgeball stuff like that. Took care of it out there. We took care of it out there, and then you either toughened up or you didn't survive. And so the amount of population that's around that's still Gen X, and that's what I was talking about, like the first 5 years. If you know somebody from 65 through 70, or that was born in between 65 and 70, 1965, 1970, and we're still kicking. That means we made it through some crap, man. We made it through some challenges of survival. Okay, the sun all day outside. Do not dare come in. Yeah. The hose, drinking water from the hose. Yeah, we did that. So you just had to let it run out for a while. You couldn't drink it directly. Like, you can turn on the water and start drinking it because, one, it was going to be hot and it was going to burn you because the sun was shining on the hose, and two, it tasted like rubber. It tasted like the dang hose. So you gotta let that pour out, and then after that, it was okay. You can drink it. There's no big deal. Cool yourself off, right? That type of stuff. We did that. what other crazy stuff. We went out and we were the type where they said, "Don't do this." We went to find out why.
So you see this, come on, this is totally uncalled for. You do not want to challenge anybody to drink an Everclear. What is wrong with you? That's a death wish. I tell you what, I'd rather eat Tide Pod than drink Everclear like that. Oh man. So story time yet again.
We went to. I'll give you a perfect example. I'm gonna give you an example. Little story. Another story. So I guess I was probably like 11 or 12, something like that. Living in a very small town, and it was up in the mountains. And so we had a class, and it was a special class that came out specifically to our school because it was in a kind of a remote mountainous area. And they told us about these parasites that were in snails, and these snails hung out in watery and swamp areas, but they liked the water, and so they would hang out in wells and water tanks and springs and things like that. So after the class was done and we got out of school, four of us went over to find said snails. Why? Because that's what we did. It was three guys, three boys, including myself and a girl. Which brings me to this point. I know I seen y'all kind of calling out this lovely silver-haired lady that talks about GenX, and that's calling out. I see y'all. I tell you, you gonna. Yeah, you think that the Gen X ladies were weak? Nope. The Gen X ladies are tough, and that one I guarantee you is tough. You don't want to mess with her. Yeah, I mean, you put something silly out there, she's gonna tell you it's silly. But now if you come back respectful, please. Be respectful, because my God, I guarantee you she's a badass. Let me tell you, so this girl that was with us, she was a badass. She was about a year older than we were, but I think she was in the grade above us, but she always hung out with us, and she only had friends that had gotten their asses kicked by her, because it was kind of like a level of respect or initiation. I don't really remember what it was. I'll call her Z. Z was tall and lanky and skinny and bony. So when she hit you, it hurt because you were being hit with bone. And Z, man, I remember my initiation with Z was because I did something, I don't remember what it was, and she had her hands around my neck, and it was choking me, and it was telling me all stuff. And I was kind of listening. I was laughing at the same time, but because I can't remember what it was. But she got her face up close to me, and she was tucking in my face, and just had her hands around my neck, and she was squeezing. Well, I did this, and I kissed her, and it caught her off guard. She just kind of backed up like that, and I see my friends, because the friends around at the time, and their eyes went like, because I guess nobody had done that, and I didn't know what I just did that. Maybe it was because my face was turning different colors. But anyway, after that incident, after I woke up, we were pretty good friends after that, and so we were heading out. We went out to this spring, and so don't mess with Gen X women, man. Y'all young punks think they ain't nothing, but you don't know their history. You don't know their history. They hid it well. There was no social media back there where all that came out to light. She could look like an angel now, but buddy. Anyway, so the four of us go out to in the spring, and sure enough, we find those snails. We find the snails, and you're not supposed to touch them. We had them crawling on our hand, and look at the snails. Somebody had a really bad allergic reaction. I don't think it was the parasite, and I think it was something else. But his face kind of swelled up, his hands swelled. And it's funny because I was talking to somebody earlier today, and it reminded me of that, because she was talking about her face getting swollen. Well, this did it. This snail, maybe he was allergic to snails or something. I don't know. The rest of us were fine. It turned out okay as far as I know. But yeah, his face just, it just got like, and it lasted for a while too. It wasn't something that like the next day he was fine. No, he had to go to school like that. And it just like red and, but yeah, so that's the type of generation that we were, and we went and found the stuff that you weren't supposed to be messing with, and then messed with it. And that is how nature just kind of weeded out the weak. Y'all know already about all the playgrounds. I'm not going to go into that. And about being outside in the sun and riding bikes all day, and going without food, because if you missed your meal time, guess what? That was it. If you missed lunch, if it was a weekend, you missed lunch coming home because you were out riding around your bike and you were several miles away, you weren't eating until dinner. That's just how it was. My mom would sneak some every now and then because she felt sorry for me, and I think I got away with a lot of stuff since I was the youngest, but stuff like that. Okay, but now y'all coming out with these challenges. You challenging GenX, this Everclear challenge. Oh my God!
So you can challenge. I'm not even going to play this guy. I don't want people to think that is a good idea.
Everclear. Look, let me tell you my Everclear story. I'll try to keep it quick. I know this seems like it's gonna go on. Anyway, mid '80s, Biloxi, Mississippi. Buddy of mine and me, we had a bottle of Everclear. Now I'm not sure if it was the big bottle. It's not the one. It's the bigger bottle, bigger than the one that guy is holding in his hand. But I don't think it was like the. I think I might have it. Who knows? Anyway, it was that, and we had 2 cans of Sprite, and we mixed it up. 2 cans of Sprite, bottle of that, and we proceeded to drink it. I don't know what happened to my buddy. As a matter of fact, I don't remember seeing him ever again after that. And I do remember it was probably about 5 or 6 in the morning. I had passed out in the rear booth of the Waffle House there on next. It's not there anymore because the hurricane came and just took it out. But it was close to the beach. It was across from the beach, and I remember. I guess the waitress had been waiting for me to have a moment of clarity to run up to me and ask me if I wanted some coffee, which I did, and it helped me gather my thoughts, which weren't many. And I don't think I ever experienced that type of loss of memory until soju experience. Now, if you don't know what that is, then you have to look it up. I had, along with some buddies and myself, we had 2 combat bowls of soju, and I don't remember much after that except waking up with, sleeping in bed. And it wasn't like I wasn't naked or anything like that. It was just on the bed, and next to this deaf mute with 2 different eyes, or 2 different color eyes, not 2 different eyes, 2 different color eyes, and wondering how I'd gotten there. And yeah, soju is a bad thing too. That was like in the 90s, and They really didn't regulate it that much.
Oh, look at Mad Dog 2020. Another bad idea. You know, we drank that because it was cheap. It was cheap and it was a quick way to get drunk. That is the only reason why. And that's the reason why we had Everclear. We would throw Everclear to make punch, like a fruit punch or jungle juice. That's what it was, jungle juice. We'd make jungle juice with Everclear because you put it in the juice, you couldn't really taste it, but it would knock your ass in the dirt. Yeah, oh, Mad Dog, man. I when I had my second retirement, semi second retirement, some people gave me some Mad Dog 2020. Like I wanted to remember what it was like. Hell no. Goodness gracious, people, you don't want any of that. Do not do that. But go right ahead. Bring a whole bunch of those and then let Darwin take its course. Okay, so this is the Silverhair Beauty over here, Southern Belle, uh, Gina. You know, she talks about a bunch of things, but I've seen people calling her out. You know, talking about GenX. Come on, guys. Believe me, this lovely lady will turn into the Reaper and hand your ass to you. So please do not piss her off.
All right, so let's try to end this over here. So in conclusion, please do not do not challenge Gen X to do any of this stuff. You want to drink your stuff, you want to try, and you want to see what it was like. Fine. It wasn't a challenge for us. We just did it and we survived. That was the challenge. Survive this year. Survive this month. Survive till your next birthday. Survival. That was our challenge. You all are just challenged in general, apparently. So let's stop challenging the generations. Unless you challenge the generation to do better, like your younger generations, do better than how we did. Otherwise, just leave us alone. We're happy being left alone. And anyhow, the memes are next. Thanks for watching. Take care.